This is Richard back at you. Today we've going to be tearing down a 4L60E, a core that a customer brought in. He's got a little project going on at home. Now we are going to be installing it. He's already got the new motor and stuff back in it. He's going to bring us the vehicle and then we're going to finish installing it and stuff like that for him and get it going. So this is a core that he brought, 4L60E, kind of early style. We didn't pick the core or anything like that, but this is one he wants to put back in there. So we're going to tear it apart and kind of see what we got. We got Miss Teresa on the camera today. We got little Miss Annie sitting there hanging out watching. There you go, Annie.
Mama.
Yes. Now this is probably just going to be a stock unit. No Corvette servo or anything like that. Now we will be putting a Corvette servo back in this thing because I think he said he's making like 500, 550 or something like that. So got my Milwaukee 3/8 impact going today. This thing works really nice, guys. Be a nice Christmas gift for people, for sure. If you're doing it at home or anything like that, they work really good. Now this thing is doesn't look really good, but we didn't expect it to be really good to start with. So it just has a standard pan. Now when we build this back, we'll go back with a deep pan. It'll be a stock pan, but just be a little bit later version. And then we'll be going back with a deep filter instead of this shallow pan filter. See, so that'll be a good upgrade for this unit here. Be a cheap deep pan too, that way you don't have to spend no money. Pretty dirty. Pretty dirty. All cores are though. Now you got your 3/2 downshift solenoid there, and then you got your PWM solenoid here. Now this is all real early design stuff. You can see the solenoid, how early, hard body. Compared to this, the real late models have this style on both sides, just the body, so you can see the difference, how they look. So now if you notice here though, these do have, if you set this like this, you notice how you have a wide here, a narrow here, and then a narrow there, a wide there. So they won't interchange. You can plug them in, you can force them to plug them in, but they're not designed to interchange. So. Annie, how you doing, girl? I thought I brought my 8 spinner. Annie's wanting to help. And she's just right on top of us today. Ain't you?
Say, Mama's out here.
Yeah. No additive in this one or nothing. I mean, this is going to be a straight rebuild. It's going to be really nice. Them ones that got a lot of that additive in there, man, they're really tough to rebuild because it's just the smell and just breathing it in. You know, time you clean all these parts up, you're going to breathe some of it in no matter how you look at it. I try to wear a mask when I build them and clean my parts. Thing works good, guys. And for the price, I went and looked at them too. I mean, man, the price is really good. So, just a real early, like I said, all this stuff had to be replaced. This tranny here is going to get a major upgrade. You know, it's possibly had water in it before. Probably been sitting outside even before, you know, wherever they got the core or whatever. You can see when these gaskets stick like that. This is really nasty. Let's look in here. I was going to see if it has a plastic or aluminum piston really quick while I'm at it. I've already got all my parts laid out over there to do it. But we like to look and just see. A lot of these early ones come with aluminum piston. But you always want to check this shank right here. Even though it's used, a lot of them are really good because this aluminum don't wear. So that's really tight. You have to clean it up and check it, though. You can't check it with dirt all over the pin. You know, so. A lockup valve would be an early design. We'll have to clean that up. I won't be able to show you that, but it does here. It has the third gear check ball beat into the plate. Here, Tricia wants to show them this here. Now you see this ball's beat in the plate. These here come right out. You can just pick them up off there, knock them off there. There should have been one there and one right there. They just rolled down. But if you pick this plate up right here, that ball's stuck in there, so I can't push it.
Why is it beat in there?
Well, there's just so much pressure. This ball hitting this plate. These plates are really soft. What we do is we repair this, but we'll go in here and enlarge this hole right here, and it'll actually relieve the pressure of that ball hitting that plate so hard. You know, you can see here it's even got spots. And here, you can go to a neoprene ball too. That'll eliminate that problem on your new plate and stuff like that. So a lot of the aftermarket plates, we go in here and modify them to our likings and stuff. So, but you can repair this plate here. You can buy a kit that physically you knock that ball out right here. See right here, Teresa. See how that ball?
Oh yeah.
See, and then you can feel this big old lip right here. See, that hole is twice as big as it used to be.
Wow.
We get our 1-2 accumulator here. Just got aluminum piston in it already. Excuse me, babe.
Oh,
This
sorry.
hose very good. I forgot to set it up over here. I normally tear these down on my favorite table over there. But we still want to look in here and see what we got. And we do have an aluminum piston, but it's just got a short shank on it. You know, we like to upgrade these to the long shank, that way it has more control over the piston. So if you get these in here with that short shank, you always want to check here, because that piston will wear on that shank and it'll start rubbing on in here and ruin this thing right housing, where you have to go get another one. But this one looks really good. But you always want to Scotch-Brite this in here. That way that piston slides down real smoothly. It gives a place that oil can kind of get in them scratches, and it lets that piston slide. If you don't, that piston will kind of jump up and down and kind of squeak up and down, like that, because it doesn't slide smoothly. But if you Scotch-Brite it, it stops that completely. Because that piston right there, if it fails to move smoothly up and down, it messes up your second gear shift really bad. I mean, slide bumps, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, Scotch-Brite's your friend, remember that. You always want to check your gaskets here, your round hole. So, square hole. It does have the right gaskets on a case gasket here. So, but see how it's still stuck to the case. Like I say, a lot of times you see this, it's had some type of moisture inside the tranny. So. Now if you notice this one here, on your 3/4 accumulator, see that thing's wore plumb out. Okay. Now we're still going to use this piston, even use the old seal, but we're going to set it back down in there with a new piston with a new seal, and we're going to block it. We're just going to use this piston just for stepping it, you know, this, to keep it level right here, basically is what I'm trying to say. So, but we're still going to put one new piston in there. We're just going to eliminate it from moving. Hawaiian harness. Always replace these two, because you get fluid in here, the fluid will leak back through here and come in here and get in this connector and cause all kinds of shorts. Erratic tranny shifting, false codes, all kinds of stuff, and physically burn your tranny up. Get this part of the stuff off here. Now it does have the early input shaft, got the small lockup seal. Of course, it's incensed, you know, it'll have to be changed and stuff. This is a good design, it still works really good. It just don't like a lot of age or heat. You know, that seal that they put there, the first design, just really wasn't big enough, so that's basically why they went to the other design. So, our pump looks really nice. No water got in it or anything like that. It's not decayed out. A little bit of staining. Stator don't look stripped or anything here. You always want to look for wear here too. And down in here. If this bushing here wears and lets that rub, it'll actually rub them grooves from them sealing rings in this down in here. So you want to check that. And then, I've always talked about converter spacing, guys. Look at this here. Do you see that staining on that gear right there? The black from the shiny? Teresa, you can see it, can't you?
Yeah, I can see it.
Kind of wipe it off.
And you can see it.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Well, do you see how much more that converter could have been put into that pump gear? So that thing needed at least an 1/8 inch washer or some type of spacer in between the converter and the flywheel to get that gear far enough back into that converter. That marking should be way up here. See? So that's why these run crooked, because you're trying to only grab the pump down here by the end instead of grabbing it all the way across the surface right here. So that's why I criticize, that's where my carryouts come to an end, because of this stuff right here. So that's what I'm talking about, guys. So, of course, this doesn't have a seal retainer or anything like that. Some of them didn't come out with them. Yeah. Plus, like I said, this one could have been rebuilt before. Get our pin out of here. Always check for wear. See, we got wear right there. I just got like 40 of these pins in a couple days ago, so we buy them by the bulk because every one of them need to be replaced. So it's just one of them things that when we rebuild, or when you rebuild it at home, make a checklist before you send it off, because that way you're not going to need this little small part and stop you for a week on trying to get it. Pump body looks really good. Stuff like that. It's got a factory bushing in it, so I'm not sure if it's been rebuilt. Hard to say. Annie? Let's see. Yeah. So we got a reverse drum, and it holds the reverse clutches. Your fourth and second gear band physically goes around it. Look at here really quick. Looks like this drum's probably wasted. Of course, you get in here and the reverse clutches are totally wasted. See how warpage they are? See the springy? Boing, boing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
See, that's how much warpage they got. But they're just totally cooked out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, being a four-wheel drive, you know, there's no telling what this transmission's been through. And this drum, of course, it's been through a lot too. I can feel too much grooving and all that type of stuff in it to even use this thing. It'll have to be replaced. Make sure we go back and find a big hole drum. So you always want to check that, guys. You go to replace some parts, that's where it'll get you. Of course, we got a stock band, which that's going to be normal probably. Let's see if they left the load springs out. That's a big sign if it's ever been rebuilt. That tells you somebody's been in there, didn't know what they're doing, or they read the really, really, really early articles on leaving them out. So, But after you've been doing it a while, you really start to understand what they do and their purpose and all kinds of stuff, and start building high horsepower stuff, then you realize what they do, really what they do. Now the 3/4 clutch is toasted. It does have the load springs in it. 90% of the time, 99.9% of the time, if this 3/4 clutch is burned up, these load springs are no good. It cooks them up so bad, makes the springs really weak and stuff like that. There'll be different lengths, different heights. I mean, just everything about them. So, you know, it's going to have new ones put in it. Let's see, look at this forward clutch here. Look down in here, Teresa. Got our input bearing here. Just remember, guys, if you got to whine, check this bearing, because this bearing is the only one that's going to whine in park and neutral. So, now this thing's probably been through the ringer. The deeper I get, the worse it looks. So, the drum looks good with reverse clutches to go. It's not grooved or anything like that. We can still use that thing. Shaft doesn't look loose. Of course, we got every clutch burned out of it. We got the engine brake clutch, we got the forward clutch. There's just nothing left in this thing here. So this core here is really a core. So let's see if we can save a sprag really quick out of it. Want to look for any type of chatter marks. Like I say, a lot of times the sprag won't even spin on it. It'll just say stationary here and spin on this one here. Or it'll do vice versa. This just has a stock sprag. Let me get this off here. There we go. And it's got a lot of stain. I don't feel nothing, but I'll just have to run a mic across there and see if I drop or feel anything. Because if I feel anything or see it, I have to do that. Because, yeah, it's wore. I can feel it now through there. So it's had to be replaced too, the whole thing. So it's turning out to even be a core, a bigger core. We might have to get a core just to fix this core. A snap ring off there. So we just got your standard 4-pinion planet. Just check for any wobbling. I pulled one out of the Peoples from Arkansas, and we got to looking at it. All the teeth were pitted all the way through here on both sides. I mean, it's really bad. Here you go. Matter of fact, I got it right here. Can you see that pitting on them teeth, guys? Can you see that? Right there. That's what come out of their tranny. Luckily, we put that new Sonex planet in there, new ring gear and stuff like that, and sun gear. But that's what was in there. So, that's why you got to look at all that type of stuff. So we clean this stuff up by hand and inspect it. It's a little bit different. We can spot a lot of stuff. See, this is wore here, where this bushing goes here, which we're going to put a roller bearing style in it anyway, so we're not going to have to worry about that. Get rid of this shell. Get down in here. Now here we go again, guys. See, you can just see here, even the reverse clutch is burned out of this thing. So, I mean, this tranny just had major, major abuse. They were stuck back in the boonies and they were coming home. So, look at your sprag assembly, stuff like that. Just remember, always Scotch-Brite your surfaces. Scotch-Brite your friend.
Thank you for the Scotch-Brite.
Yeah, definitely. Same way on this sun gear here, you want to look on both sides of this gear right here. Always put a new bushing. They do make a wide bushing, Sonex does. You can put in these, it works really nice. I'm going to come here and look at this planet. Check every gear, nice and tight, nice and tight, nice. Up, there's old Mr. Wobbly right there. Almost every time I take one of these apart, one of them's wore out. So we buy these planets by the dozens and put new ones in almost every one that we do, stuff like that. So pretty much a core. This is what we say, it's going to take a core to save a core. So we'll probably go out here and get another core and tear it down. Don't have to be a four-wheel drive case or anything like that. It could be even an earlier or a little bit later model. It doesn't matter, and pull all the parts out of it. So we'll get this thing back together, get it in his project vehicle for him. So if y'all need anything, make sure you subscribe. Teresa, we want to thank you. Annie, wherever you went, we want to thank you. We got a couple videos coming up here shortly on thanking everybody for the donations and stuff, and some ideas to do with some extra money that we got. So y'all stay tuned.
And plus, we're reading letters.
Oh yes, we got some more letters to come up too. That's coming in daily too. So we want to thank you guys. Y'all have a great day.